All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, I just realized the camera was still sitting in the car, so I had to go back out to the car and get the camera. So I've done that now. So now I've got that all there. Let me mark down who is here. So I've got all of y'all recorded, and my assumption is that you can hear me at this point. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. We continue to work on chapter 6 this week. Last week was spring break. I did take some time off last week. As a matter of fact, I still got to turn in my leave for last week. I just remembered that. I've been sitting here working on grading today. Chapter 5, I have begun grading it, but there's only a couple of people who are graded at this point, and I intend to continue work on that tomorrow. I was finishing grading in another class, but was due not 2 weeks ago today, but the week before that. So I got that done. So at this point, the only things I have to grade are things that were due last 2 weeks ago today, which is actually the last Monday at school that we had classes, because last Monday we did not. So there was nothing due last Monday. There is stuff due tonight, and your class is just a discussion for last week, which covered the last 2 weeks. And then chapter 6 is due next week. Chapter 6 is going in and looking at how to update the data. We went through that 2 weeks ago, talked about those commands, the update, the insert, delete, and the commit and rollback. And particularly talked about commit and rollback, that when you do commit, it actually puts it out there in the database permanently. Basically permanently. You can delete them still from out there, but the data is in the database. Until you do a commit, unless there's been the setting of auto commits been made on the database, the data is not actually in the database until the commit is done. If the commit has not been done, rollback will erase everything that's been done since the last commit and get rid of all of those entries, but it doesn't affect anything that has been committed to the database. But where I was going with the grading, I have started on stuff that was due last Monday, and depending on what happens this evening and stuff, I may work on that some more. I'm not sure what all I got to do. I know one thing I got to do when I walked out there and got the camera, I remembered I've got to do, is I've got to empty my car out, because I've been on the road for the last week and a half. The weekend as we went into spring break, I was in Lexington, Kentucky for a Kiwanis convention. The Thursday before that, so that day, on that Wednesday, Thursday, I was in Nashville, Tennessee for a cybersecurity conference, which was really good. We had a lot of good speakers that day. I picked up a lot of stuff. I've got a stuffed bag out in my car of different things I picked up that day. Some of the trinkets were interesting and neat. Some were different. One of the things I got there, and I've got a couple of them, so I've got one for myself and probably think one or two more that I'll give to a couple of friends, was that they were giving out USB, looked like a connector for USB, that you can use when you want to connect your phone in to charge it at some places, that it gave you a male female USB plug. And what it does is the line where your data goes across on USB is disconnected. So you can plug into any USB plug and charge off of it, and you don't have to worry about getting your phone infected or whatever. I thought that was a neat giveaway trinket to be doing. A lot of the companies were giving away socks, so I think I got 4 pairs of socks in that bag. A couple of them are interesting looking socks because they were all something to do with their companies that they obviously are advertising stuff. One of them was, I don't know if any of y'all remember the Oregon Trail game. It was based off the Oregon Trail game and has across the top of the socks the wagon train going around the top of the socks drawn on there, and then some other things pictured from that game. And then I got 2 t-shirts, I think it was, and an umbrella. And then I got a bunch of other little things too. Actually got, I don't remember what else I got, but I got a whole bag of stuff that I got that day. And this was a small show. And it was in the Opryland Hotel, but it was just using 2 smaller rooms in there. Actually the convention center. And then we were able to walk on into the hotel and look at the hotel also, which at Christmas season, they charge you to go into the hotel to see the decorations and everything. But at this time of the year, you were allowed right on in. How expensive that hotel is, I can give you an idea of. And any Gaylord hotel all has these same resemblances of have all the plants and all of that type stuff out in the we wouldn't be lobby, I keep thinking atrium area, because the Gaylord Palms and Orlando, I have stayed in that one. I was at a Cisco conference, and because I was an academy attending, and at this big Cisco conference, they had a really cheap rate for us to stay there, but it was nice. Same people. The Gaylord Opryland Hotel, they have boat rides around on their little ponds all through in there that you can ride on this little boat thing, and it's $14 a ride. And I went, wow. And I'm walking around looking at all the stuff they are seeing from the little boat. But if you got money, I guess you spend money. I'm not that rich. So it was neat on seeing that. But I did spend the day that Thursday there, and then I went to Lexington, Kentucky after coming back home for a few hours that night for the weekend. And then I was on the road again during the week, concluding up with on Saturday, I walked in the Charleston Bridge run walk. Actually, I ran and walked with a friend. We mostly walked, but we were doing a fast walk. And I figured that we weren't in that good a shape to run 6 miles. We used to be, but not right now. So I did that on Saturday, and then I'm back here. And then I worked on classes all during the week, answered emails, so I've been that. Registration for summer is underway. I will be glad to advise any of you on that need advice, and I'll be glad to help register any of you that need the help on registering. If you are a cybersecurity student, which probably aren't if you're in this class, definitely get with Mr. Spurlock or me on which classes to take, because if you take the correct classes that we recommend for your electives and network electives, you can get the networking degree along with your cybersecurity degree. And when I say degree, that could be degree or diploma, and also if you're getting a degree, you would get the diploma. But in any of the CIST programs, if you take psychology, if you're in the degree program and you take psychology, either as a social science course, general ed course, or as your general ed elective, then you will qualify to get the diploma to go with the degree when you graduate, that you can get them both. So you want to put them both down when you apply for graduation. So questions for me, comments? Because there are 4 of y'all in here, and I see things from 3 of you so far. But I got to see more stuff, because if the school decides to audit it, they're going to go, should be participation here. All right, any questions on chapter 6 this week, or on any of the previous chapters, any of the material we've gone over? This one, I think you'll do okay on. When we get into 7 should go pretty good too, because that's going to be mostly views and indexes and that type of stuff. So that should be a good one. But I will warn you when we get to 8, because we are getting close to that, and that's in the last chapter. That one gets tricky, because there's some things they're going to show you that you only do in Access, which is not a real actual database. It's a fakey one. And then some of the other stuff, it gets real tricky according to which product you're using. So it's going to have some trickiness to it. And when y'all go to do the assignment in 8, that one I'm going to be very flexible on what I grade on it. Because it's going to be, have you made an attempt at it, and was it a reasonable attempt, or like the Access questions, did you write it up for me? Because you're obviously not going to do them. But 6 and 7 should go pretty well. Julio probably is correct on that. It's not, I don't think it really is that difficult, although it could be for some of you. So I'm not saying that if you see difficulty in it, panic. It depends on the person too. If you did the Collaborate session 2 weeks ago today, then you don't have to worry about the discussion last week. But if you did not do the Collaborate session 2 weeks ago, then the discussion for what should be last week, but it's really 2 weeks, is due today. Okay? Because I didn't have anything due last Monday because that was during student holidays. And so everything that would have been due last Monday is due today. And this class, that was the only thing that hit to being pushed to today. In some of my other classes, they got a number of things due today. And so that's where I'll have lots of stuff to grade after tonight. Other one is, no, shouldn't be any problem on that. Next week, we'll have this session as normal on Monday. It's fully my intention. Tuesday, if any of you are in a Collaborate session on Tuesday, next week we'll have them on Wednesday because I'll be in Leadership Walker on Tuesday. I am floating campuses right now, doing the cabling assignment for the students in the first Cisco class in 2451. So I have been on the road for the last week or two. Not last week. Well, I was on the road, but not for the school. And then I will be on the road this week and next week, I know also. Several days a week, going to various campuses. So definitely, if you decide you want to come by and see me at the school, definitely let me know ahead of time, so I can tell you if I'll be here or not. Okay, because I'll be out a good bit. The other part is, and then I say Tuesday, I will be off campus all day also next week. This week, as far as I know, today and tomorrow I'll be here. Wednesday, I know I will be going to either, I think, Floyd for almost all day, I believe. And Thursday, I'm going to Floyd or Warden also. But first thing is, that morning, I'm taking the Security Plus exam at 9 o'clock, and then I'm hitting the road to whichever campus it is and being there for several hours. And then on Friday, I think it's a normal Friday for me, but I'm not sure. Any questions at all for me? So, Lisa, if you did this 2 weeks ago, you're fine. Also, all of the discussion grades, as far as I know, discussion, Collaborate grades, I know the discussion are. Collaborate grades, I'm pretty sure all of the Collaborate grades through 2 weeks ago, through the last week we had class, are all posted. The only Collaborate grades that I know are not posted at this point is the ones from today, from 2451 this morning, and now your class this afternoon. And I may get those done shortly. Any questions on anything for me otherwise? Any question? So 6, at least one of you's got it done already. More of you may. The other one is send me emails. Even when I'm off campus to these other campus locations, I am checking email those days from those campuses. The only time I'm not checking is when I'm really off campus, like for Leadership Walker next week on Tuesday. I won't be checking email during the day, but I should get it checked that evening. And then last week was spring break. I worked every day except Saturday, which was when I walked the bridge, and then I had a 4-hour drive or something in there too. And I had to be up and leave the house I was staying at 5:30 a.m. that morning. I had to be up at 4:30 or shortly thereafter, so I could walk out at 5:30, so I could go catch the bus that took me over to where we started walking from. And it was supposedly a 6-mile, a 10K run walk, but in actuality we did close to 10 miles because we had to start a mile back because there was somewhere over 20,000 people registered for it, and we were in Corral I. I haven't counted my letters of the alphabet, but that gets it further on down there. So we were the 10th or 12th. The race started at 8 o'clock. Our corral got up to the start line at 8:25. And then, so we were probably almost a mile back, and then we had to walk that distance. And then when we finished, we wandered through the little expo area and got some fruit and water and a couple other little things in there. And then we had to walk back to the bus, and I had to walk back to the car from the bus once it dropped us back off. So there was about 10 miles of walking that day. My phone said that's how far I went, was over 10 miles, 22,000 steps that day. I normally try to go 6,000 steps. Saturday evening and Sunday, my legs told me that they had gotten worked on Saturday. All right, any other questions for me? If not, I will go ahead and let y'all go for the day. No, you're just going to do the final online. I think I do have in the syllabus that it could be given on campus, but since the pandemic, I have not done that, although that could be starting back next semester or whatever. But I've got it in there so I can go back to that rule if I want to. And that you wouldn't schedule an appointment on it. I would schedule times that you could come and take it, but that we're not going to do that this semester. Y'all will do it just online, just like your test. Okay. Because it's still, obviously numbers are down, but they're still carrying on with all kinds of stuff on it. So we'll see what all happens from here. Okay. And then I say I am working on grading chapter 5. So there's a couple of people that have been graded. Most of you have not been graded on 5 yet. And then I've got some grading in 2 other classes to do. One class I'm actually fully caught up in, but that class has only got 2 people in it. My 2 biggest classes, which have got somewhere around 40 students in one and close to 30 in the other, that I've done a little bit of grading on them for this week also. So hopefully I can have it all caught up by the middle of the week. I'm going to see. And so I will see y'all next week. I'm going to stop the recording.